My wife came out as asexual and that's why we don't smash, so I said divorce. Now she's refusing to accept it and said I can have unlimited access to her friend instead. My wife, 29F, and I, 34M, have been married for 4 years, and up until a year and a half ago, things were fantastic. Our marriage began to deteriorate after there was a significant drop in our under-the-sheets fun between us, not intimacy, just the actual physical aspect of the relationship. We would still cuddle and have deep intimate moments talking and just being around each other, but she kept rejecting my attempts to take things further past kissing. Now, we have had no problem communicating, so I made sure to address it early, and we talked and made adjustments. Well, about a month ago, she returns from her therapy session and tells me that she believes she's asexual, and that's the reason for her non-existent bedroom drive as of late. I was definitely confused because we had such a great bedroom life for a while in the beginning of our relationship, but her telling me that she's now asexual was heartbreaking because everything else is great. Obviously, I'm not going to force her to smash, so we had a long conversation about our relationship, and I came to the conclusion that we should get a divorce. I say because she immediately rejected the idea and said we would figure something out and wouldn't talk to me about it anymore. I didn't know what to say, so I dropped it. Well, 3 weeks go by without smashing, and I decided that I have to do this for my own mental well-being, so I filed for divorce and had her served with the papers. Last week when I got home from work, she was going about the day like nothing was wrong. I asked her if she had signed the papers, and she flat out said, "We are not getting a divorce," then changed the subject and acted like things were normal. Obviously, I thought this was crazy, so I stopped her and said I couldn't be in a marriage devoid of smashing. I mentioned that I was being incredibly fair with our divorce terms. She could keep the house that we bought and paid for with cash, I'd take all of the debt, which isn't much, we'd split our savings and investments in half, and she could keep 2 of our 3 paid-off cars. Thankfully, we don't have kids. I love her and want her to be comfortable, and I have no problem starting over since I make a good income, but she won't budge or talk about the divorce. This brings us to 2 days ago. I get home and go to our bedroom to find my wife's friend, 27F, in our bed, completely undressed. I immediately shut the door, said sorry, and went looking for my wife. I found her in the kitchen and asked what her friend was doing here, and she said that she was here for me. I put 2 and 2 together and said that I'm not smashing with other women in place of the woman I chose to marry. She was adamant about saying that I could sleep with her whenever I wanted and that her friend agreed to it. I couldn't believe things would get this far, so I went back to our bedroom and asked her friend to leave. I packed a bag and have been staying in a nearby hotel since that night. My wife, her mother, and her sister keep calling me, but I'm just not interested in hearing what they have to say. This feels like a trick. I just want this whole thing to be over. Does anyone have advice? Is this some kind of ploy for alimony? Should I just contact my lawyer and try to force the divorce? I'm really uncomfortable with this entire situation. Update 1. I'll try to keep this as concise as possible. I feel overwhelmed so I probably won't bother with another update after this one, I don't know. My wife came to my hotel last night, and we talked about everything. She told me the full truth and what's going on in her mind. A few of you commented this on the last post, so you were right. She has always been asexual, she and her whole family have known this since she was 16. Apparently, this is the reason why her last long-term relationship of 3 years ended. He broke up with her after the smashing between them diminished to being non-existent after the first year. She told me that smashing is easier for her in the beginning when emotions are running high, but she still needs to force herself to have it. I knew they broke up due to irresolvable differences, but I didn't ask for details, nor did she tell me. After a lot of apologies and crying, she told me that I was the first person she was able to tolerate smashing with for so long and that she did enjoy it a handful of times, but after a while, she still felt like she was being graped. I broke down after hearing this and started kicking myself for not catching on to any of this. She said she tried her best to please me as much as she could. She still doesn't want a divorce, and she doesn't want the house, cars, or the savings. She just wants me and is ready to do whatever it takes to keep me. She even said that she would sign a postnup stating this. As for her friend, she was there during her last breakup and helped support her through it. My wife went to her after I brought up divorce and talked things out. Her friend suggested that she open the relationship for me, but she said she didn't want me sleeping with strange women, so her friend volunteered herself to be the one who sleeps with me. My wife thought this was a great idea which led to the fiasco at our house. I won't comment on her appearance because it doesn't matter, and I don't blame the friend. My lawyer got back to me, and you were all right. I don't need her permission, but I will have to wait if I want to push it through. I asked her why she lied to me this entire time, and she said she was tired of being rejected after revealing she was asexual, so she convinced herself that she would be able to force herself to smash during the relationship. The hormone testing, the sessions in couples therapy, and all of our solutions were just her buying time to find another way around smashing, or give herself enough time to build up the strength to start regularly smash with me again. Our conversation ended with us holding each other in bed, crying for a couple of hours. No, we didn't smash. She pleaded with me to hold off on the divorce to look for a solution together and left my hotel room. I'm now sitting alone typing this post, and I guess I found out that we don't share everything with each other. I don't know what I'm going to do. Update 2. After my last update, my wife asked me to meet with her about a week later to discuss things with her. I've been staying at an extended stay since that night with her friend. We met at our house and talked for a few hours. She started off with a ton of apologies for how she acted, her lying about her bedroom drive, and not taking my intimate needs more seriously. Before I could say anything, she presented a signed postnup agreement she had drafted with a lawyer stating that she doesn't want anything. The house, the cars, savings, everything. I felt like the biggest jerk for thinking that she was tricking me for more money. I asked her if she was serious, and she told me to take the postnup with me and sign it when I'm ready. I still haven't signed it. It's in my backpack. I told her that I still think divorce is our best course of action and that we both deserve to find someone who matches our needs. She still refused and borderline begged me to reconsider. She started crying, and so did I. Seeing her like this was devastating. I told her that her finding other women to sleep with me wasn't going to work. What if I develop feelings for them? What if I get one of them pregnant? Do we expect her to delete us the fetus? She said we'll figure it out as we go along and to please give her more time to work on other solutions. I said that it sounds like we're going through the same things again, but she was adamant and pleaded with me to wait. There were more apologies on both sides, and we kissed for a while before ending the conversation. Then, I went back to my hotel that night. A few days later, I tried texting her, but she didn't respond, so I called her dad. For context, I'm avoiding her mother and sister since they are saying the same things as my wife. Her dad told me that she moved back home and has been holed up in her room since our talk. She called out of work. He told me that she's barely eating, bathing, or talking to him or her mom. He asked me what I was going to do, but I didn't have an answer for him. He just said he understands and said he would be here to talk anytime I wanted to. So, I went back to our house, and a good portion of her stuff was gone. The whole place feels empty. I've been sleeping in one of the spare rooms. I'm planning on flying to my mother's house in a couple of weeks to spend time with my family and decompress from this entire situation. I'm still on the divorce side of the fence, but I guess there's no rush. Thank you to everyone for your insight and concern. Seriously, I know we're all strangers, but most of you have been a huge help to my mental health. Seriously, thank you. Also, my cousin uses Reddit and reached out after he found my last post. He asked me to shout him out if I made an update. Love you, Virgil. Thank you for being there for me.